Guys, welcome back to KTTV. I am KT and this is Kindness, Timeless, Tunnel Vision. So we are going to get into this video. This is basically the top 5 things I wish I would have known when I was 20, like in my 20s, and kind of what my experiences were during my 20s and how I learned from them. So we will get into all of this here now. Hey guys, excuse me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am sitting in this beautiful river. I kind of love this time of year because this is when the river gets lower and you can actually sit and meditate in this river, and I love it. It's one of my favorite places to come and realign. A lot of the time I connect with source and spirit and my ancestors, of course. So this video, we are going to talk about 5 things I wish I would have learned sooner and would have been able to apply in my 20s. But I don't regret any of my experiences in life, because honestly they've taught me so much and became such a, I am the person I am today because of these experiences. So what did I go through in my 20s? Well, let's start at like 18 to like 21. I like to party a lot. You know, I was feeling unworthy and feeling like I'm not good enough no matter what I did. And so a lot of the times I feel like that's relatable with a lot of people. A lot of people grew up feeling like they were a burden or unworthy, or, you know, not necessarily getting the love that they deserved or felt that they were looking for. So I would always go to partying as a way to dilute myself from the pain I was feeling, in a way, because like having an absent father who my life was in and out of my life a lot and in and out of jail a lot, and had an addiction, eventually, there was an addiction issue there, and I understand now why he wasn't around, because he couldn't be. But at the time, I didn't understand that. I was always seeking love because I never got it really from him. Like, I did feel loved by him, but it wasn't like he was that role model dad, or, that dad that was always around, basically, So I love my dad. I appreciate everything he's taught me. And I wouldn't be the person I am today without my dad. He's taught me many, many lessons, and is why I am a rebel. I do things differently. I go against the grain. So thank you, Dad. I know you're probably not watching this, but if you do, I love you. So back on track. Let's see. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, my party days. Okay, so yeah, so like a lot of people, I think we run to different substances, whether that's drinking, drugs, eating, negative attitudes, like negative mindsets. We can get addicted to pretty much anything. So I don't feel like addiction is a disease. I feel like it is a habit that has taken over your life, and you just need to change up those habits. So that's why I've dealt with a lot of addiction in my life. I have had a dad who's been an addict. My ex was an addict. He was an alcoholic, but he was definitely always seeking to dilute his reality. And I feel like a lot of us do that, who become addicts or who have addictive personalities. We try to cope, use those as coping mechanisms. But that's not the best way, and that's definitely not helping us heal. So I understand the struggles of that, like I do, because I've seen it, and I've also become addicted to substances as well. Like, I used to do a lot of cocaine in my past. I used to drink excessively, like every single night. Like, I still smoke cannabis because cannabis is a plant and it's a medicine. It has been for centuries, and that has helped me with a lot of my healing process. And I also do micro dosing on like magic mushrooms. So I do believe certain substances can help you grow, and certain substances are just lower vibrational substances, and they're not helping you grow. They're helping you mask what you don't want to face. So that's why it's close and deep to my heart, because I know how hard it is to break out of that cycle. I know how hard it is to see other people in that cycle and not be able to help them. So with that, to lead me down to my next experience in my life, in my 20s, I had no self-love, no self-worth, and I was just, honestly, I really didn't care if I lived or died. I really didn't. And I then believe this is one of my, I've always felt like I was spiritually awake because I always felt connected to Source. I never was into religion. I just felt like you could talk to Source or God or wherever you are. You don't need to go to church to prove yourself to Him. But if you like doing that, that's beautiful, because I do believe in community, and I do believe in positive messages from history in the Bible. Woo, it's hot out here, guys. It's a hot one today. But I believe the Bible has been rewrote, and that is to control the masses. But that's my own view, and we won't go down that rabbit hole. But so I lost my train of thought of what I was talking about. So I feel like a lot of the times we run to different substances to mask the pain of not feeling worthy or enough, or self-love. So self-love is one of the first tips I would give you for trying to learn it as soon as you can. I tell my son this is self-love. Honestly, I'm still working on it. Nothing is perfect. I don't think you're ever going to reach a point where you're just healed, So I am still working on having self-love and feeling valued, and not valuing myself because of other people's opinions of me. So I'm still working on that. So if I had started that in my 20s, I'd be a lot further along with it, in my 30s like I am now. So that is one thing, one of my tips. So with my story about addiction and dealing with it, I also, with that, wasn't making good choices, and I ended up with 2 DUIs, literally 3 months apart. Man, I got the book thrown at me. I went to jail several times, and it just really taught me a lot. It did. And I feel like that's where I was. And I feel like that was one of my first spiritual, not first, but probably second, more grown spiritual awakenings, was that moment when I got my DUIs, because I was not happy in my situation. I was living with a roommate that was absolutely crazy. That chick, I thought I was nuts. This chick went from 0 to 100 real quick, and I thought I did. But she actually called me in for the first DUI I got. So that's a whole nother story. But I'm kind of, from that experience, I learned so much about myself, so much about people and true friends. So it really taught me a lot. It kind of broke me out of the habit of partying, because I had to pay for those DUIs by myself. And if anyone's had one, you guys know how expensive that is. So at least 10 G's a DUI. And it was not a great time in my life. I wasn't in a good place. But when I got my second DUI, I know I was really making great choices. When I got my second one, I obviously, the people in my situation normally did not get out when I was in jail that time. And I was going to court the next day to ask the judge if I could get a PR bond. And most people in my situation would not be granted that at all. 2 DUIs, 3 months apart, hell no, bitch, you're gonna stay in jail, okay? You're gonna really learn your lesson. But the night before I went to court, there was a group of ladies from church that would come and pray for the inmates. And so, I'm not very religious, but I do believe in Jesus, and I do believe that in the universe and God. So I went in there, and I've always believed in Jesus, but I've never personally invited him into my heart. And when I did that, this lady asked me, "Are you religious?" I said no. And she said, "Well, do you believe in Jesus?" And I said yes. And she said, all you need to do is ask Jesus to come into your heart. And so I did. And that was a beautiful moment. I actually felt full of love and just one with self and source, and that was a beautiful moment. And at that moment, I just knew everything was going to work out tomorrow, like when I went and saw the judge. So yeah, so the next day comes. It was a beautiful experience, and sure shit, I get out on a PR bond. And I do believe that is the universe and the heavens understanding. I did learn my lesson at that time, and I did. I mean, I hustled. I got my DUIs handled within 2 years, and you know, I haven't been, angels surround me, but I have not been back in trouble since then, because I learned my lesson and I understood my choices, and I didn't play the victim role. I understood I made those decisions, whether she called me in or not. You know what I mean? I made the choice to get behind the wheel after I had been drinking, which is not cool. I do not support that. And nowadays, there's no fucking excuses because you got Uber and shit. We didn't have that back in my day, okay? It took a taxi to get from freaking an hour to get to us. So, okay, no excuses though. I shouldn't have done it. So, without those lessons though, I wouldn't have learned how strong I was. I wouldn't have learned who my true friends were. I wouldn't have really kind of gotten back on my feet from partying a lot. You know, I'm kind of grateful that that was the first shift in my journey, because before that I was a little hellion, man. I didn't give a shit. So it just kind of gave me more perspective on life, and I started to want more from my life. And I felt more connected to the universe as well, and I do feel like they've been there and had my back through a lot of experiences that I've had. So that is just one of my experiences that has taught me so many things. So having self-belief in yourself, it's so important. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. Why would they? You know, you got to believe in yourself. So that's what that experience taught me. So that's my number two tip, because this side of my nails is way prettier. My number two tip is believe in yourself. Don't worry about what other people think. If you are going a different direction than them, as long as it's on the positive polarity. I mean, listen to people and understand that if someone's telling you not to do something, that's usually their own insecurities, unless it's like you shouldn't do it because you could harm yourself. Okay, let's just be responsible and not choose things that are gonna not benefit us, because that's something that I had to learn the hard way. And that's why I like to put my message out there, because I hope that someone hears it and is like, if she got through it, I can get through it, and I don't have. You know, one funny thing is, when I was getting out of jail that day, the cop, I told him I'm never coming back here, and he literally laughed at me and said, ha, okay, good luck with that. And I will never forget that. We were in the elevator going, I don't know which way, up or down, but it's a system that keeps you in there. And when you don't feel worthy or enough, you continue to choose those habits, those old habits that help dilute the situation or help ease the pain. So it's hard to break out of that cycle. Like, I totally understand that. But I am living proof that you can, and that's why I share my story, because your environment can dictate your reality. And the minute you choose that you don't like those choices that you're making or the environment that you've created, you can change your reality with your mindset, your thoughts, and your self-belief. So that is my number two tip, is self-belief. So what else did I want to tell you guys today? I guess we could talk about my son's father a little bit. We met in work release, which was not the best place to meet somebody, because obviously you're both dealing with your own issues. You're not making the best choices, and I feel like I was in a low vibrational state then. You know, I didn't really know. Wasn't into the whole spirituality like I am now. That came about a year ago where I lost my job due to COVID. It was my fucking dream job. And it really rocked my world. So I really dove into my spirituality. But with that, so my son's ex and I were very toxic towards each other, which did not create a good environment for anybody. So I understand what it's like to go through an abusive and toxic relationship as well. So I want to let other women know that you, or men, like, you don't deserve that. You can get out of it. It takes, I mean, it's not easy, but you can do it. So I am living proof of that as well. It was hard to leave someone that I still cared a lot about, but he was choosing alcohol over his family, and I was the sole provider. So I saw how much it wasn't benefiting our son too, and I had to make a change. I had to. For the benefit of my son, myself, I had to make a change and to leave him. And I was hoping when I left that he would get his shit together, right? But unfortunately he hasn't. And I mean, that's his journey and that's his path. That's what he's choosing. So, but with that experience, it taught me so much about self-love, self-worth, confidence, not making other people's judgments of you higher than your own judgments of you. Like, you know who you are. Don't let other people define you. And with that experience, I mean, that's when I fell into my addiction, my old ways, and started drinking a lot. And I wasn't present for my son, like, when he was little. And like, I will forever have guilt for that, I feel like. But you know what? I turned it around. I changed it around. And that is why I made the hard decision to leave his father, because it wasn't benefiting us. I wasn't benefiting his father by enabling his behavior. And it got to the point where he was literally like stealing money and hiding alcohol from me. And it just became too much. And yeah, so I had to make a really tough decision. It wasn't easy, but I'm so grateful I did, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope he heals from his own wounds, because I know that's why he goes down that path, you know? So the more we understand ourselves, the more we heal ourselves, the more we can have more compassion for those around us and the people that have been in and out of our lives, and the people that might not have treated us so greatly, you know? I mean, I'm still healing, but I have forgiven him for the things that went on in our relationship, because I understand he's hurting, and hurt people, and healed people heal people. So I want to show, my whole reason for sharing this is to show I've been through some shit, and I got out of it by my choices, my mindset, and just belief in myself, my self-worth, and knowing that me and my son deserve better. So I'm just trying to help inspire those that might feel a little lost right now, because a lot of this crazy energy with everything going on too, the Great Awakening, it's a lot to handle. So I'm here for you. So what else did I want to say? Oh, the importance of taking action. So that was my third tip. The importance of taking action. So if I had never left my son's dad and took that action, I don't know where I'd be today. I don't think I'd be here. I'll tell you that much. So, and I just, even through, okay, losing my job or even my DUIs, if I didn't take action to change my behaviors, to change my choices, to change my environment, then I would still be living that reality. See, we create our realities with our thoughts. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. What you think you deserve, you manifest. At that point in my life, I thought I deserved all that because I felt unworthy and I felt unloved and I felt crazy that I wasn't good enough, because I do have anger issues too. So like, I am a reactive person. So, you know, I just felt like horrible about myself. I didn't even want to be here anymore. But I didn't have that choice because I love my son. He is my light, and I every day am so grateful for him because he saved my life. He's made me change, you know, like he's the reason I snapped out of that, because he deserves a good life and a good mom, and a mom that's present with him, and that I'm here to guide him through this life. So taking action is so important to manifesting your goals and dreams, or to change your reality or your situation. So what you got to do is really focus on what you do daily. How do you talk to yourself? What are your daily habits? Are they benefiting you, or are they hindering you? Are they the person you want to be, or are they your comfort zone? You know, because our egos will try to keep us in our comfort zone because they're trying to keep us safe. And when we embrace the unknown, that's when we really get connected to source and our true self. So to embrace the unknown is to really to understand who you are without ego. And I find that such a beautiful thing, but you got to learn how to balance it. And I'm right there with you, learning how to balance all this. So taking action is so important. I know it sounds like, duh, Katie, like you got to do, like to do anything, you have to take action. But I'm saying action in the direction towards where you want to go, not where you've been. So to do that, change is not always easy. And it took me years to leave a toxic, abusive situation where most people are like, why the hell did you stay? If if you guys were abusive to each other, or if you guys were toxic towards each other. And love is a hell of a drug, man. And it wasn't even, now I'm learning that wasn't really love. It was more possession and control and egotistical love. That's what that was. And now, you know, that I'm in this vibration and I'm learning and I'm healing myself. I found a amazing partner, and he understands me, and he accepts me for who I am, and he gives me the space that I need to help myself heal. And that's a beautiful thing. So I say all this to let you guys know you're never stuck, ever. You can change your life and your reality. It just takes you knowing where you're at, accepting where you're at, and then figuring out those steps to get you towards where you want to go. So that is like my whole coaching. I am a fitness coach, a mind, body, soul coach is what I like to tell myself. Because it does take all of that. It takes mind, body, soul to really heal and become your best self. And that is like my mission on this planet, is to help other people feel good and become their best selves, because it's good to feel good. And everybody should feel like that. And we're all here to create a beautiful life. So we have to understand where we're at to be able to take action to get to better places in our life. And honestly, when I went spiritually, like I had seen angel numbers a lot in my 20s, like kind of like 25 and on. I conspiracized a lot. I saw a lot of different things. But I constantly saw angel numbers. Like I just saw repeating numbers, right? And in my first video, if you guys watched that. So I literally saw numbers like that for years. Thought I was absolutely going nuts. But, sorry guys, it's hot out here. Whew. But last summer, I chose to just really follow them. I did, because that's when I lost my job. I felt lost. I was like, fuck, I'm a single mom. I have a kid to raise. Like, you know, how are you just going to get rid of my position like that? But through that, I am so grateful for that experience. Again, blessings in disguise. And it's all about what you choose to focus on. I could have chose and taken the victim route, or I chose to say, no, okay, this is part of the process. Where are we going with this? And I dove into my spirituality. I did. And I just started listening to my angel numbers. I did. Some of you are going to think I'm crazy, but I have a book, literally a little book, and I just started writing them down because there were so many. Like I was just getting them. They were just feeding them to me because they understood that she's listening to us. So I started writing them down, And I noticed as I started doing different things and making different choices and having different habits, like the first thing, I started doing more yoga. I started meditating daily. I started going into nature a lot more because I love nature. Nature calls to me. I love it. The river is my place. I'm a Scorpio, so we are water signs. We like that water. But yeah, so I really just dove in and started connecting to my intuition and source and listening to these angel numbers, and I do angel messages too. And if I hadn't done that, because I haven't had much guidance in my life, I mean, who else can relate? Shit, I haven't. So I know it sounds crazy to believe in something you don't even know if they're real, but I'm sorry, angels are in literally every religion, angels. You can hear about them in every religion. So that's why I dove in, and I've always actually, my mom always used to give me things when I was younger that says angels are always with you, or angels watching over you, or just little angel statues. So angels have always been a part of my life. So when I started embracing angel numbers and seeing the repetitive numbers and then researching their messages, because I feel like that's when you get your true enlightenment. Like, I could tell you what those numbers mean, but unless you look it up yourself, that's how you actually receive those messages, because it's a beautiful process. You should just do it. It's beautiful. But if you're seeing repetitive numbers like 444, 333, 111, 222, those numbers mean something. I know, okay, Katie, there's numbers everywhere, but it's those random times that you see that number and then you randomly see it again somewhere else. Those are messages that your angels are trying to communicate to you. And if you take the time to look them up, that enlightenment and that guidance is absolutely amazing. So if you're like me and don't have a lot of guidance, I have used angel numbers a lot in my last, I don't know, 5-6 years, because they've really helped guide my life in a positive direction. So taking action towards something, even though if it seems crazy to other people, you know what I mean? Like, do what speaks to you. Sometimes angels will talk to you through music if you like music a lot, or if you watch a lot of TV, they'll send you messages that way, or there's all kinds of ways they try to communicate with us. We just have to be open to see them. So my fourth tip, yes, is health is wealth, people. If we haven't learned anything from this pandemic, we should learn that, okay? That's a positive thing to take away from this, is health is wealth. And we need to take care of ourselves better. When I was in that toxic, abusive relationship, I was in very low vibration. I was drinking all the time. I was stressed out because everything was on my shoulders. He did not help me pay the bills at all, but he did watch our son for us. So I understand that that is work in itself. So I will give him credit for that. But I mean, he literally played video games with him, but hey, he kept him alive, so that's a good thing. Otherwise, I would be in jail for murder. So what was I saying? Health is wealth, people. Yes. So, yeah, with all that toxic experience, I'm sorry, I'm watching the hornets around me and I'm getting distracted. But with that experience, it taught me, I was literally killing myself physically, mentally, and emotionally. And my body was breaking down. And I got ulcers. And I was always getting sick. It's not good. And I mean, I drank a lot. So obviously that's going to weaken your immune system. So, because I was diluting my reality, I didn't want to face it. But with that, it taught me how important it is to take care of our bodies, our temples. And when I stopped drinking every night, I'll still drink occasionally, but I don't drink every night. But when I stopped that, I started taking a more healthier route. I started working out more again. I've always been into fitness and running. I used to run when I would drink too, but I really, I got myself into a gym, which now, I mean, I have my own programs I do at home, which is beautiful. And if you're interested in that, there's a link below on this video that you can contact me about that. But I'd rather work out from home now because I'm not trying to wear a mask when I work out. Wearing masks are not healthy for you at all. Breathing in your own CO2 or oxygen, I mean, it's not good for you. It actually weakens your immune system, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole. So I just really learned through that experience, and that, like, constantly feeling sick and being in low vibrational energy, how much health is wealth. So I really started focusing and taking care of myself more, because I want to be healthy for my son when he's older and I have little grandbabies. Like, I want to be there. I want to be healthy. I don't want him to have to worry about me. Or I love my mom, but she's on a lot of different medications for not taking care of her body and her health. So I don't want to be like that. Okay, so that is why I do my protein powder. So if that's something you're interested in too, there's going to be a link below in this video that you could contact me about that as well. But it's all organic, it's beautiful. But it's so important to our vibrational energy as well, what we are putting in our bodies. And I learned that as well. I fast a lot because I notice if I eat more, I feel sluggish and just like bleh. I don't know, it could be my stomach issues, but I eat my protein shake. Sometimes I'll miss my lunch, and then I'll eat a decent dinner. You know, like, the less food I intake, the less stomach issues I have, and I'm more mindful about the foods I'm putting in my body, so I'm getting more natural energy, which is literally helping raise my vibrational energy as well. So health is wealth, people. That is my fourth tip. And my fifth tip is a big one, guys. And this is one I'm still working on, but it's so important. Ready for it? Embrace the fear. Get used to being uncomfortable. Like, embrace the unknown, because that's where magic happens, guys. That's where the magic happens. That's where we connect with source. That's where we connect with our true selves. That's where we start to heal. So embrace the fear, embrace the uncomfortability of change, because you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's literally the definition of insanity. And get it, I get it, I've been there, I get it. But you cannot keep doing the same things and expecting different results. It's just not going to get you to where you want to go. So you have to change up those habits, behaviors, your daily choices, the way you talk to yourself. Those are all part of it. Those are all part of the process of change. And when you start this process, just know your ego is going to want to protect you. It's going to want you to be like, no, this doesn't feel safe. This does not feel comfortable. I am not used to this. And your ego's going to want to pull you back to the old habits, the old ways that you were used to, because that is where the ego is comfortable. When you embrace the unknown and you embrace the fear, that is when you are connected with source, true self, and that is when you can really manifest and raise your vibrational energy and manifest a beautiful life, guys. So those are my 5 tips. This thumb didn't want to come out. 5 tips. To just what I wish I would have done differently in my 20s, or like what I wish I would have known in my 20s, you know, like just, and what I've learned from my experiences. So that's 5 things I've learned from my experiences. I'll go over them again real quick. Self-love and self-belief, super important. Also, what is it? Self-healing. I didn't even mention that, but yeah, that's a lot about what I coach, is self-healing. So that is another important thing. Thinking, oh God, there's a snake over there. It's a little baby. That's cute. I wish you guys could see that. Anyways, self-health. You thought you were done with me. So self-healing is so important for everybody to really understand. And sorry, I got distracted by the snake again. Self-healing is about understanding who you are, why you have the triggers that you have, why sometimes you have the behaviors that you have, why sometimes you have the habits that you have, and then through that is how you can provoke the change. So by truly understanding self-healing, and I can go on to other videos about self-healing as well if that's something you'd be interested in. Comment below if you like. I would love to hear from you guys. But yeah, so that is a little bit more about me and my story. And oh, that's what I was doing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm such a space cadet today, stoner. But I hate when people say that though, because I'm literally spacey without even smoking. I'm just naturally a space cadet, so it has nothing to do with my cannabis, but it's such a like stereotypical thing. So my tips: self-love, self-belief, self-healing, super important. And then you got to take action, right? Take action. Health is wealth, and embrace the fear. So love yourself. Take action towards your dreams, your goals, and your new manifested reality that you want. Embrace the fear, and remember, health is wealth. And if you need a good mind, body, soul coach, I am here when you're ready. There'll be a link below as well in this video if you're interested and just want to reach out, and we could just start a conversation about it, because that's where it all happens. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy my videos, like if you like, subscribe below if you want to keep seeing them, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Peace, love, and namaste.